Starting at week 1, nobody really knew each other. Everybody was kind of hesitant to be on this group of 9 people all making a show. But now we're at week 7, week 8, and everyone jokes around with each other. Everybody is talking about their favorite games, their favorite releases, and what they love. And it's really cool to see a team come together to make a show that they're starting to be passionate for. My name is Nate Quick, and this is Amazing Things. To be the producer of Gentoo wasn't so much a choice as it was something that needed to happen. We were in the middle of our season last year in the spring of 2017, and our producer at the time had to withdraw from the university and withdraw from our program, so we were kind of left in the middle of a season producer-less. So there were several of us that got together, said we'll start taking on the roles and responsibilities, and because at the time I was editing, I had the last say, and so they said, why don't you start going to the meetings, why don't you start kind of vouching for the show, you see everything that goes on. So I did, and over time, it just kind of weeded people out until there was really only 1 or 2 of us that were doing producing. When it came down to start this season, I had learned as much as I could, and the team at the time felt comfortable with me leading, so I'm a producer now. I'm the producer of Gentoo here on Channel 8, and we're kind of the home, we brand ourselves as the home for video game and tech news. We kind of ride the line between news and entertainment. We try to be, in kind of both realms. And also because we're in a very uniquely nerdy spot, we try to ride the line between regular broadcast TV and web internet content. So things like Let's Plays, reviews, things like that you see a lot more on the internet, we now kind of bring to TV. And sort of TV news we try and bring to the internet. Behind the scenes, the biggest bit of behind the scenes information is everything going wrong. You can't go a week without something going wrong. The game doesn't want to play, the cameras don't want to record, cameras are out of focus or out of whack. So overcoming those new obstacles every week, finding those challenges week to week and overcoming those is kind of the biggest behind the scenes thing. I, as a producer, try to look at being a producer and being part of the crew as kind of the same job. I'm just kind of the last line of defense for the show. I'm the one who puts my neck out and listens to the responsibilities, the critiques, the criticisms, but I'm also a member of the crew just like everybody else. So I try to give everyone a chance to do whatever they want to do, direct, be on camera, do audio, do switching, and try and teach them all the different parts so that everyone gets as much of an education as they can out of the show. And I think that helps me relate to them a little bit easier and hey, I know this is going wrong this week, but you know that I'm relating to you because we were both there, we were both doing this. So this isn't coming out of some man in a high castle, this is coming out of the guy working right next to you. So that's how I try to approach being a part of my crew and still being the producer.
Nate is a really good producer. He has a lot of drive and he wants us to do our best. Sometimes he can be a little harsh, but that is because he wants us to be our best. So, that's the payoff. Honestly speaking, even though he is my producer, he ain't anything special. He's still Newt. He's still the guy I roomed with last year. There hasn't really been a shift in that dynamic because I will never let him get too big for his britches. Nate keeps Nate humble. That's how that works.
The most difficult thing about being a producer is not being a producer at times. I've put so much passion into this show. I've put so much of my own efforts into what goes on screen, what people see every week, that to switch that off and be a student, to switch that off and just be a friend or to just be a member of the crew has been very, very difficult at times. I love the leadership aspects, not that I get to tell people what to do, but I get to bring a team together. So switching that off and being subservient to somebody else is a little bit of a different feeling. Switching that off and just focusing on writing a paper, not having to think about the show, has been interesting. So the most difficult part of being a producer is not being able to be one all the time. Being a producer has taught me a lot about the different aspects to leadership. I know it sounds really cliche, but I don't mean in just telling people how to do things. I mean finding things that people are interested in, finding people's strong suits and building a place for them to show that off. People who really love cinematography. Okay, how do I bring that into the nerdy world? Still let them do what they do, but still find a place for them in my show. People who haven't learned how to quite do anything yet. How do I accommodate them and teach them while still making a high quality production? How do I bring on people who have very strong opinions? How do I partner them with people who might not be so strongly opinionated? How do I find a balance? So being a leader in the sense that I bring everyone together has been, I think, the biggest lesson of being a producer. My advice to someone who wants to do this in the future, whether it be leading a team of nerds or just doing a production that's nerdy in its own nature, is to just start doing it yourself. Find some aspect of it that you love and just try it. I know everyone says it, but I've had to fail so many times before I can get something that looks really, really good, before I get something that I feel even comes close to the really high standards that I set for myself. And that started with me and a laptop in my bedroom, figuring out what does my favorite streamer on Twitch do? What does my favorite YouTuber do? And now I have that knowledge that I can bring into the production that I run with my team. So being open to trying things for yourself and possibly failing, and finding other people around you who want to do the same thing. Maybe they like different games than you. Maybe they want to do something different with their careers, but you have a shared passion for nerdiness, for those things that you really love and are passionate about. Coming together with those people, accepting the differences, but working together to make a better end product is what takes this from being just an idea on paper to being a full studio setup every week that runs for 11 weeks a season.